Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. So Satipatthana Sutta, page 71. 71. Satipatthana Sutta, we have to recite together. Ekayano ayam bhikkhave bhego saddhana visuddhiyam soka paridevana samadhikamaya dukkha domanasana athingamaya nyayasa digamaya nibbanasa sichikiriyaya yadida chattaro satipatthana gadame chattaro ida bhikkhave bhikkhu kaye kayanupassi viharati atapi sampajano satima vineya loke peja domanasam Vedanasi vedana nupasi viharati Adapi samajano satima Vineya loke peja domanasam Jete jeta nupasi viharati Adapi samajano satima Vineya loke peja domanasam Dhammesu dhammanupassi viharati Atapi samajano satima Vineya loke peja dhammanasam. The English translation. This is the only way, bhikkhus, for the purifications of beings, for the overcoming of sorrow and lamentation, for the disappearance of pain and grief, for reaching the noble path, for the realizations of Nibbana, namely the four foundations of mindfulness. What are the four? Here in this teaching, bhikkhus, the bhikkhu dwells contemplating the body in the body, ardent, clearly comprehending and mindful, removing desire and discontent in the world. The bhikkhu dwells contemplating the feeling in the feelings, ardent, clearly comprehending and mindful, removing desire and discontent in the world. The bhikkhu dwells contemplating the consciousness in the consciousness, ardent, clearly comprehending and mindful, removing desire and discontent in the world. The bhikkhu dwells contemplating the Dhamma in the Dhammas, ardent, clearly comprehending and mindful, removing desire and discontent in the world. So according to Satipatthana Vipassana guidance, we are practicing accordingly, and when we practice, we have to contemplate the body, kaya. We have to contemplate on the body, the material aggregates. First, we need to understand the nature of rupa. What is the nature of rupa?
The eyes.
What is the nature of rupa? Is anicca,
Yes.
dukkha, and anatta. So the nature of rupa, is nature dukkha anatta. So material aggregates is impermanent, painful, uncontrollable, ugly, and unpleasant. So that is the nature of the kaya. So can you follow me? The material aggregates. The material aggregates is impermanent, painful, uncontrollable, ugly, and unpleasant. The material aggregates is impermanent, painful, uncontrollable, ugly, unpleasant. That is the rupa. Rupa, the nature of rupa is what? Anicca, dukkha, anatta, and asubha. That is the nature of the aggregates. So now you are contemplating the body, kaya, and when you contemplate, you need to perceive the material aggregates as impermanent, painful, uncontrollable, ugly, and unpleasant. So to perceive the material aggregates as impermanent, painful, uncontrollable, ugly, and unpleasant. So what you need to do? Atapi. You need to dwell intensely ardent. Atapi. What is the meaning of atapi? Ardent. Ardently. And then you need to be satima, mindfulness. Mindful all the time. And when you're mindful, you need to comprehend correctly. Sampajano, clear comprehending. When you practice in this way, what happened? You will overcome desire. You will overcome desire and discontent. So because of this intention, you are practicing Vipassana meditation. And when you practice Vipassana meditation, what do you observe? The 5 aggregates. 5 aggregates is what? Khanda.
The
5 khandas. 5 khandas actually Upadana khanda. What khanda? Upadana khanda. Upadana khanda is the 5 aggregates, the 5 constituent group of existence, which are the object of clinging. So we may cling to an object with strong craving and wrong view. Anything that we can cling to either with strong craving or wrong view is what? Upadana khanda. Aggregates subject to clinging. What you are observing, Upadana khanda. Can you follow me? Anything that we can cling to, either with strong craving, or wrong view, is called Upadana khanda. Aggregates subject to clinging. So what are the things we can cling to? We can cling to the things we see. We can cling to the things we hear, we can cling to the things we smell, we can cling to the things we taste, we can cling to the things we touch, and we can cling to the things we think of. So in other words, everything in the world we cling to. We can cling to. So when you practice meditation, when you notice seeing, you can capture the seeing. So what is seeing? Seeing is nama rupa. Seeing is what?
Seeing is
Nama rupa.
nama rupa.
Seeing is nama rupa, or seeing is an aggregates. So seeing is, when you know seeing, what you can capture the eyes,
Yes.
and the sight,
Eyes, objects,
eye object, and
eyes
the
consciousness.
eye consciousness, seeing consciousness.
Seeing consciousness.
Yes, so when you know seeing, so the things you can capture. What is seeing? Seeing is the eyes and the object and seeing consciousness. At the moment of seeing, it's very conspicuous. It is very obvious. So the eye sensitivity and sight are rupa or nama?
Rupa.
Rupa. Seeing consciousness is rupa or nama?
Nama.
So can you follow me? The eye sensitivity.
Eye sensitivity.
The eye sensitivity.
The eye sensitivity.
And the object.
And the object.
Is rupa.
Is rupa.
Seeing consciousness.
Seeing consciousness.
Is nama.
Is nama.
So these nama rupa are suffering. These nama rupa are the truth of suffering, dukkha sitya. Why it is called dukkha sitya? Why it is called truth of suffering? Because when you know seeing, as soon as you notice seeing, it disappears. Appearing and disappearing all the time. Because of this, seeing is suffering or pleasant? Suffering. Seeing is with suffering. Why it is called suffering? Because it disappears. As soon as you know seeing, disappear. Also, so when you hear, you have to know hearing. So what is hearing? When you notice hearing, you can capture the three things: eardrums, and the sound wave,
Yes.
And hearing consciousness. Eardrums and sound wave are rupa or nama? Rupa. Hearing consciousness is rupa or nama? Nama. These nama rupa you can capture it. These aggregates you can capture it. These khanda you can capture it. As soon as you know hearing, it disappears or not disappear? Disappear. So because of the disappearing, because of the nature of disappearing all the time, it is pleasant or unpleasant?
Unpleasant side.
Unpleasant. It is suffering. So can you follow me? Hearing is suffering. Because of the incessant disappearing nature.
Because of the
disappearing nature, it is called suffering.
Because of the disappearing nature, it is called suffering.
That is hearing, huh? Smelling. When you smell, how do you know? You know smelling. And you can capture the three things in the nose, sensitivity, and the smell and smelling consciousness. The nose sensitivity and smell are rupa. Rupa, smelling consciousness is Rupa or Nama?
Nama, Sayadaw.
Nama. As soon as you notice smelling, it disappear or not disappear?
Disappear, Sayadaw.
Disappear. So when that disappearing nature of smelling is pleasant or suffering?
Suffering, Sayadaw.
Suffering. So because of the disappearing nature, it is called suffering.
Yes, Sayadaw.
It is suffering. Smelling. So you have to note smelling.
Yes, Sayadaw.
So if you know smelling, what you can capture the Namarupa, mind and matter, or you can capture the aggregates.
The
Aggregates, khandha.
aggregates,
Khandha, yes. As seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting. When you eat, when you taste something, you have to note tasting. When you know tasting, what you can capture? Tongue sensitivity and
the tongue, the taste.
Tongue sensitivity and taste are Rupa or Nama?
Rupa, Sayadaw.
Rupa. Tasting consciousness is Rupa or Nama?
Nama, Sayadaw.
Nama. So when you know tasting, eating, it disappear or not disappear?
Disappear, Sayadaw.
Disappear. So when it disappears, because of the nature of disappearing, it is pleasant or suffering?
Suffering, Sayadaw.
Suffering. So Rupa and Nama are suffering, dukkha sitya, truth of suffering, and they are the aggregates. And touching. When you touch something, your hand touching, part of touching to the floor. How do you know touching? When you know touching. So what you can capture? You can capture the body and tactile. Tactile. Body and tactile are Rupa or Nama?
Rupa, Sayadaw.
Rupa. Touching consciousness is Rupa or Nama?
Nama, Sayadaw.
Nama. When you know touching, it disappear or not disappear?
Disappear, Sayadaw.
Disappear. So when it disappears, the touching is pleasant or suffering?
Suffering, Sayadaw.
Suffering. So you have to know touching to capture the Namarupa, to capture the true nature of what?
The aggregates.
Aggregates in the true nature of the suffering. So you have to note seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, touching, and thinking. So if you do note, you can cling to everything in the world either by wrong view or strong craving. So we may cling in this way, oh, this is I. So we are clinging by way of wrong view. And also we think that, oh, this is seeing is mine, hearing is mine, smelling is mine. So we may cling by craving. So the things we cling to are called aggregates or khandha. So how many aggregates? There are 5 aggregates. So can you follow me? Rupa khandha, Vedana khandha, Sinya khandha, Sankhara khandha, Vijnana khandha. So Rupa is form. Rupa khandha is form aggregates. Rupa khandha is what? Form aggregates. Vedana khandha is what? Feelings aggregates. Rupa khandha, Vedana khandha. Sinya khandha is what?
Sinya is mind.
Sinya khandha is perception. And Sankhara khandha is what? Sankhara khandha, volitional formation. Formation aggregates. Vijnana khandha is what?
feelings,
consciousness. Consciousness. So can you follow me? Form aggregates.
Form aggregates.
Feeling aggregates.
Feeling aggregates.
Perception aggregates.
Perception aggregates.
Volitional formation aggregates.
Volitional formation aggregates.
Consciousness aggregates.
Consciousness aggregates.
Consciousness aggregates. So khanda is what? Khanda is aggregates. Khanda is aggregates. Khanda is aggregate. So that one unit of matter is called aggregates. So it is because one unit of matter can be of the past, the one unit of the future, and one unit of the present. So with the grouping together of these three aspects of time, that one unit of matter becomes an aggregate. Now when you practice sitting meditation, you keep your mind on the abdomen, you note the rising. Can you observe from the beginning to the end? Rising, the beginning of the rising, the middle of the rising, and the end of the rising. So when you know rising, it disappears or not disappear, it disappears and falling. At the beginning of the falling, the middle of the falling, and the end of the falling. So rising and falling of the abdomen is rupa or nama? Rupa.
Rupa.
So the past rupa at the moment of last rising did not reach the stage of falling, and the last rupa at the moment of falling did not reach to the stage of rising. So when you note rising, you can capture the past rupa at the past rupa of the last rising, and you can capture the falling, and they are changing all the time. And then presently arising rupa. The presently arising rupa does not reach to the stage of falling, and the presently falling rupa does not reach the stage of rising. So that is for the present rupa, you need to observe. And then also when you note seeing, the present moment of seeing, do not reach the next moment of seeing. And the present moment of hearing, do not reach the stage of hearing. So you have to know hearing. Now the present moment of hearing, do not reach the stage of the next moment of hearing. And also future rupa, you may understand the future rising, falling. We now reach the next future moment of rising and falling. And sometimes your body is the light. You have to know light. And it disappears, and some when you sit long, there's arise heavy. You know again heavy. Sometimes it is light, and sometimes it is heavy. So you need to observe very correctly the true nature, the true nature of the kinds of changing rupa. And also when you stretch, you have to know stretching, bending. And you may see that these rupa do not reach to another stage. They disappear, they perish away as soon as it arrives. When your concentration and mindfulness getting strengthened, you will see very clearly. So sati mindfulness. Sati mindfulness, when you practice, your mindfulness must be not floating on the surface. It must go deep into the object. And you should not forget everything. You need to be mindful all the time. Contemplating the body in the body, that means your mindfulness must be precise. So to have a precise object, Buddha repeated the words body in the body, feeling in the feeling, consciousness in the consciousness, and Dhamma in the Dhamma. Dhamma in the Dhamma. So Buddha repeated. And Atapi, that means other energy. So you need to put all the time effort so that you can remove the unwholesome mental state. And then clear comprehension. When you concentrate on rising and falling, you see the rising distantly from the falling, and you have to see the falling distantly from the falling. Rising. So you see that the rising, the abdomen arises and disappears, and at the moment there are only the abdomen and the awareness. Abdomen is Rupa and the awareness is Nama. So you can see that you can capture these Nama Rupa. So you know that they are just the things observed and the mind that observe. There is none other which you could call a person or an individual or a man or a woman. See, in this way is called clear comprehension. Clear comprehension. And you need concentration also that keeps the components of your mind squarely on the object and does not let them go to other objects. So that is called the concentration. So Vipassana meditation, what Buddha encouraged, for people of average intelligence, for people whose intelligence is not so keen, and it will take longer, and for the yogis who have keen intelligence and quick understanding, it will take less time to attain enlightenment. So in the Majjhima Nikaya, in response to the question put to him by Prince Bodhi, Buddha said, a bhikkhu who has the 5 qualities of striving, that is faith, saddha, and good health, and honesty, and energy, and wisdom. So how many qualities? 5. 5 qualities yogis might have. No? 5 qualities. So 5 qualities of striving. Can you follow me? 5 qualities of striving.
5 qualities of striving.
5 qualities of striving.
5 qualities of striving.
Faith. good health, honesty, energy, and wisdom. Faith, good health, honesty, energy, and wisdom. So that kinds of 5 qualities of striving you have, and if you have, and also you have the Buddha as your teacher, and then you practice and you will attain Arahanthood in any length of time, beginning with 7 years down to less than a day. So there are many people who attain enlightenment in a very short time, and sometimes they just listen to the teaching of the Buddha, and immediately after the discourse they reach enlightenment. So the commentary mentioned that the people of the Kuru were so well endowed with a good climate and good food that their minds became mature. All classes of people practice meditation. So if people who were asked what kinds of meditation you are practicing, when they reply none, so they were reproached. And people of Kuru would teach them one of the kinds of meditation. And when you answer that, oh, I'm practicing such and such foundation of mindfulness, they will praise. Well done, your life is blessed. Your life is blessed. Your life as a human being is worth living. It is for such people like you that Buddha appeared in this world, because you practice meditation. So the commentary goes even so far as to say that even animals practice meditation in the Kuru country. The commentary mentioned a story of parrot, and there was a dancer who lived like a gypsy, and he went from one place to another, and he had a parrot. And the dancer trained the parrot to sing and to dance. Wherever the dancer traveled, he stayed at monastery and nunneries, because at this place he could get free food and a free place to sleep. One day he happened to spend some time in a certain nunnery. Then he left that place and he forgot to take his parrot with him. So the parrot was taken care of by the female novice in that nunnery. So the parrot was given the name Buddha Rakita. What is the parrot name?
Buddha Rakita.
Buddha Rakita. Buddha is Buddha, Rakita is protect. Buddha Rakita, one protected by the Buddha. So one day when the parrot was sitting in front of the chief nun, who was the abbess, and the abbess asked the parrot, "Hey parrot, do you practice any meditation?" And the parrot answered, "No." And the abbess said, "People who live with the monks or nuns should not be heedless. Since you are an animal you cannot do much, so just repeat ati, ati, ati. Ati means bones, bone, bone. Bone, bones, bones. So the nun taught the parrot the repulsiveness of the body meditation, Kaya Vipassana. The body bone in our body, how many parts? 32 parts. Something hair, body hair, nail, teeth, skin, etc. Hair, body hair, nail, teeth, skin, and bones, blood, etc. You have to practice bone, bone, bone. That is how many times you have to reflect? Many times. Repeat it. So when you practice meditation, you note the rising and falling, sitting, thinking. How many times you note? Repeat it. Repeatedly note it. So that is what called develop. Now the parrot is meditating bone. So the nun taught the parrot the repulsiveness of the body meditation, and the parrot keep practicing bone. Always he is practicing. One day when the parrot was basking in the sun on top of the gate, what called the hawk, the big bird swooped down and seized the parrot with its claws and flew away. And the parrot made a noise. It sounded like kiri kiri kiri. It's big sound. And when the novice heard the noise, and they said, "Oh, hey, Bodharaghita has been abducted by a bird. Bodharaghita has been abducted by the birds." So they took sticks and stones and scared the big birds so that it released the parrot. And then when it's released, the parrot, the novice brought the parrots to the abbess, and the abbess asked, "Hey Bodharaghita, what were you thinking when you were taken away by that bird?" And the parrot answered, "I didn't think of anything else, but that a skeleton is taking a skeleton away." So the big part is skeleton, and you yourself is skeleton. One skeleton is taking a skeleton away. So I don't know where it will be scattered. So that is the only things I thought of when I was taken away by the birds. And the abbess was very pleased and told the parrot, "So that practice will serve you as a cause for the cessation of life, cessation of existence in the future." So the abbess was very pleased. Very pleased. So in the practice of meditation, repeated practice is important. If you practice again and again, if you train again and again, the parrot can reflect his body as skeleton. And even the parrot can reflect his body as a skeleton So all the yogis are now practicing, and why not? Why not? You can reflect the true. You can reflect it very correctly. It is skeleton. It is bone. It is hair. It is hairs of the body, nail, teeth, skin. You can reflect. And also when you practice meditation, rising, falling, the movement, tension, extension, coming one after another. So by practicing in this way, you can overcome sorrow and lamentation. There will be the experience of pain and grief, and you can realize nirvana, cessation of all suffering. So we are very happy for all the yogis and practicing meditation. It is a very good opportunity to practice. So by practicing Vipassana meditation, by observing every phenomena occurring at the six senses, rising, falling, sitting, touching, seeing, hearing, smelling, may all yogis be liberated from all suffering. May all yogis realize the real peace in the very near future.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.